What up? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and we are here today with a new review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 3, episode 7, and the episode was titled WAP. W-A-P. Wanda ain't playing. The episode should have been titled Wanda was lying, because that was the thing with this episode. Wanda knows she was lying. In a good chunk of this episode, Wanda was lying. But you guys, before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other review on the channel and are not already subscribed, I'm going to need you guys to do me a big solid favor and hit that subscribe button, you guys. Hit the notification bell button. Light up all the buttons on the channel, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and just discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? Alright, you guys. So, we pick up where we left off the last episode we had, right? You guys remember, Wanda was talking to Melody about getting back with Martell, and the men were outside talking to Martell, right? So the men are asking Martell if he loves Aryan. I think y'all know the answer to that question. Like, y'all keep asking that question, but because they kept asking it, they asked it multiple ways. No, Martell does not love Aryan. Martell loves what Aryan does for him. He doesn't love her. He just loves the shit that she's done for him. Suck his dick. Let's keep it real. So then we see Mel. Mel, they're inside talking to Wanda and her curls, right? So y'all know Wanda and her curls was talking. Well, actually, you remember Mel was talking about the fact that Wanda likes Aryan's pictures. She tells Aryan how beautiful she is, right? Which it wouldn't be a big it wouldn't be a big thing if this wasn't the woman that played a part in tearing apart Mel and Martell's marriage. Now, I will give Wanda one thing that Wanda said in this episode that I did agree with, especially in this scene, right? When Destiny was talking to her, right? Wanda said one thing that I did agree with. Don't blame the woman. Don't just put it all on the woman. And even Destiny's like, you know what, you're right. It's not just her. It's Martell as well. But it also takes two to tango, right? It takes two to tango. So they tell her, like, you know, Destiny and Mel are talking about the fact that she likes this woman's pictures, and that, you know, if it was them and let's just say Maurice was cheating on Kimmy, the other woman got pregnant, Kimmy and Maurice breaks up, Mel is not going to go like her pictures because they're friends, and that's disrespectful to Kimmy, which I got it, right? But Wanda and her curls are sitting here talking about, well, Tisha's your friend, I'm not your friend, but you might not be her friend, right? And you might not be the girl's friend. You're not Mel or Martell's friend, but you're in their vicinity. You're within close proximity of them. So that woman feels like she has an end to the circle, and it's disrespectful. Like, if your husband was cheating on you, had a side baby, you wouldn't want no woman, and then she wants to say that they insecure. That's not insecurity. It's not insecurity. Like, you can tell a woman she's beautiful all day, every day, right? But the woman that my husband, someone's husband cheated on them with, that ain't insecurity, Wanda. That is not insecurity, right? So Destiny and Wanda at one point started arguing because of what Wanda was saying about that insecurity thing. It's not insecurity. So then we got the men outside talking, right? And I was just like, oh God, the men. Because, you know, they're talking about who's on their second marriage. I'm like, oh. Honestly, with all these men on this show, I wouldn't want to be married to any of them. A second marriage, a first marriage, a third marriage, no marriage. Because Marceau was talking about he wouldn't want to be, he wouldn't want to get married again. Who, after watching this show, I don't know what woman would want to marry you. Looking at how chauvinistic you are and the way that you treat Tisha, what woman would want to marry you? Another dingbat like Tisha, I guess. But where we at? Yeah, you know, Maurice, Zave. You know, that sounds interesting, right? Maurice, Zave, and Lewis, they're on their second marriages. Wow, that says a lot. That says a lot that it's not a good thing, right? So Maurice and Zave and Kimmy it's Kimmy because was Kimmy married to Jalen's father? I can't remember, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. We ain't talking about that. So we go back inside where Wanda is telling Mel that she should get back together with Martell, and I'm like, for what? What reason would she get back with the man that cheated on her? And Mel was like, you older women always tell us try to tell the younger women to go back. Why? Like, why would you tell her? Why would you, if you know that somebody was either cheated on or unhappy in their marriage? Why would you tell them to stick it out? Why would you do that? Like, that makes no sense to me. So Wanda at this point, she's trying. Now Wanda at this point was just being an asshole because she's coming at Mel, right? She asked Mel if she knew about Arian, right? Mel says, I knew about her, the last 3 years. Because Wanda's thing is Mel knew about her the whole 5 years, right? She's like, no, I did not. She said the first 2 years he was cheating on me with the woman. I didn't know shit about it. Then when I did find out, which we saw it play out on the show, right? When Mel did find out about it, he was supposed to have stopped messing with Arian, but he never stopped messing with Arian. He just put her on the back burner for just a little bit, but he eventually went back to her. Speaking of Arian, I saw a post on this Facebook group that I'm part of, right? Where she posted a picture of some coleslaw and tagged Funky Dineva. Are you really proud of that? You're really proud of that. Your morals are very, very low. You have very low morals if you're proud of being coleslaw, the side piece, the side. Like, you have very low morals, and I could not be around a person with that low of morals, right? Like, you're proud of that? Ain't no way. So then Wanda asked Mel, was she and Arian friends? No. The fuck? I was with Mel when she flipped out on her. Like, girl, Wanda, shut up. No, I was never friends with her. I wouldn't be friends with somebody like that. The fuck? The woman was sleeping with my husband. Why would I be friends with her? Just because she got a child with him? No, I don't have to have anything to do with that child. That's between her and Martell, not me, her and Martell. Child, Wanda and them curls would have got slapped. Period, point blank. So Mel left out Destiny falling behind Mel. So Wanda like, y'all following behind Mel. You upset her. You asked a stupid ass question. Am I friends with a woman that slept with my husband and had a baby with him? What the fuck do you think, Wanda? What in the hell do you think? So then her and Kimmy go at it, right? Because Wanda's whole thing is that if that was Tisha, that Kimmy would have given Tisha the blues. I'm like, why would she give Tisha the blues? For what? What would she give Tisha? Wanda, what would she give Tisha the blues for? Mel walked out to avoid a bigger confrontation with you. So why would she give Kimmy the blues? Why would she give Tisha the blues? Why would she give Tisha the blues? Like, it didn't make any. Wanda at that point was just grasping at straws, pulling shit out of thin air at that point, right? I also want to know, what the hell is a month? Wanda said if it was 1 month, 5 years, 2 years, what in the fuck is a month? But yeah, so Mel tells Marceau that she's leaving, right? So Wanda and Kimmy are going back and forth, right? So Kimmy was talking about with Tisha that Tisha requires a lot when it comes to her, and Wanda's like, I don't think Tisha requires a lot. Are you motherfucking joking with me, Wanda? You's a motherfucking lie. She does require a lot. What has Tisha's thing been? Me and Kimmy, we supposed to be sisters, and I don't really feel a sister bond. That's what she wants, the sisterly bond. You know what Tisha wants. Tisha basically wants for Kimmy to just, if Tisha's lying, don't call me on the shit. That's basically what it is. If I'm lying, girl, don't call me out. Please don't. That's what her issue is. Like the season 1 reunion when they were talking about the fact that Kimmy and Tisha had talked about Mel, and Kimmy got in her feelings about. I mean, not Kimmy, but Tisha got in her feelings about that. Get the fuck out. So then Wanda wants to say that that Kimmy has been saying shit about them for years. And I'm like, Wanda, what the fuck what has she said about y'all for years? Please enlighten us. What has Kimmy said about you and Tisha? I would love to know. Inquiring minds wants to know, what has Kimmy ever said about you and Tisha? I don't know what she said about you and Tisha. I haven't really saw her say much about you and Tisha, aside for the fact that you speak up for Tisha, right? That's one of the main things. But I think everyone says that. One, people say that you're Tisha's mouthpiece, which you 100% are. You're Tisha's mouthpiece. Tisha can't handle her own shit, so she sends in her family to deal with people that she has conflict with, i.e. Kimmy, i.e. Mel. But Kimmy kept saying, Wanda, say what the fuck you gotta say. Like, what is it? What is it that I said about you? She says, Wanda could never say what she said, because I'm like, it's bogus. You're lying. She's never said anything about you and Tisha. It's the other way around. You guys, like, that was last season. I believe it was last season when they were talking about her. They've talked about her every season, basically. So, yeah, Wanda, you lying like a motherfucker. But whatever. Let's move on. But I'm so happy that Kimmy was like, either shut up, either say it or just be quiet. Like, shut up. And that's me saying that. Kimmy didn't tell you to shut up. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's move on. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about Mel, right? So we see Mel is in the studio, right? So she's recording a new song. Mel, you're in your interview with the producers. You're saying that these songs are not about Martell, right? But then when you sit down with Destiny, you say that people tell you to get over it, but this is your story and you're telling it, right? So you got to make up your mind. Which one is it, right? Is it not about Martell or is it about Martell? But it's definitely about Martell. I mean, come on. The name of your first single is Telltale Signs. Telltale Signs. And when you listen to the song, which it's a decent song. I've listened to it. It's a decent song. When you listen to the lyrics of the song, you're clearly talking about Martell. Like, who the fuck else you talking about? But girl, go off. If you want to say that it ain't about Martell, to not stroke his ego, I get that. I get why you're doing it. You don't want to stroke that man's ego. You don't want to make him feel like, oh shit, hey, she talking about me in her song. I get it. You don't want to get that to him. I got you. I'm here for it. I got you. I got you, Mel. I got you, right? But you ain't fooling me. You ain't fooling me or the rest of the English-speaking world. So Destiny comes down to the studio, right? So they're talking, and they start talking about what happened at Black. They talk about Wanda and her curls. And, Mel's whole thing is, that, me and Tisha, we're just getting back cool with each other, right? So I don't want this to be a setback. I don't want this to be a setback on our friendship, me arguing with Wanda, right? Now, if Tisha has any kind of common sense or any sense, period, and she watches this back, she'll understand, like, my mom is the one that started it with Mel, so I really don't have an issue with Mel. So, I mean, if Tisha has any ounce of sense, she'll realize that, right? So then Destiny, which was really interesting to me, right? She was concerned about Tiffany at the party and why Tiffany was upset. So Mel tells her, it's about the fact that, at your birthday brunch, that Tiffany mentioned, the vaping situation between Maurice Jr. So that was a situation. And she felt, we're going to talk about that, because I got a lot of shit to say when it comes to Tiffany and her raggedy ass husband, Lewis. We're going to talk about it in just a minute, right? Now, in this scene, Mel is very, very defensive of Tiffany. And I'm noticing that. I'm like, you're really defensive of this woman, right? And I'm trying to figure out why. Why are you so defensive of her? Because you know full well that when Tiffany came to that brunch, Tiffany didn't come there with the warmest of intentions, right? Like, why would you so if you come to somebody's birthday brunch, right, it's somebody that you quote unquote don't know, but the first thing you say to them is, okay, so you say, yeah, I don't really know you, I've never met you, I don't know you, I may have seen you through passing, but then it finally hits you like, oh shit, I do know where I know this person from, right? I and you know what, you could have said, you know what, I do know you. I do remember where I've met you from before, but it was a very bad situation. You know, I made him. She really didn't make a mistake. You know that unless Destiny has a doppelganger or a twin, you know the full well that that woman was not Destiny. So miss me with the bullshit, right? But where we at? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Oh yeah, she came to that party with them ill intentions, and even with Kimmy, why was the first thing you want to mention to Kimmy is about her stepson vaping in the bathroom? Why was that the first your go? Why was that the first thing that you decided to mention? That's where I'm stuck at. Why was that the first thing you decided to mention? You couldn't ask her about Maurice's businesses. You can, I mean, there were so many different questions that you could have asked, but there were so many questions you could have asked. There were so many things you could have addressed, you could have talked about, but the first thing you talk about is a vaping situation about a minor, which Kimmy knew nothing about it, right? So you got what you got. So then Mel and Destiny talk about her interaction with Tiffany. So Mel says that at the Taco Tuesday that Destiny was aggressive when it came to Tiffany. Now, you guys can let me know what you think. But from my vantage point, I don't really see that she was being aggressive, right? To me, she was beating a dead horse with a stick at that point, right? But I don't think she was aggressive. Now, was she a little bit aggressive when Mel came over to her house? I will say yes, she was a little bit aggressive at that point. But at the brunch, I don't think she was aggressive. Now, you guys can, like I said, let me know if you think she was aggressive. Let me know. I honestly want to hear it. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Next up, let's discuss Tiffany and Lewis, right? Both of these trash ass individuals can go for me. Tiffany and Lewis are absolute no. So, Miss Tiffany feels as if when she was at Black, right, and she had the conversation with Maurice, Kiowa, and Kimmy, she felt as if she was attacked. And I was like, attacked? Attacked, huh? You felt attacked. I'm like, she felt attacked. I was literally thinking that. I'm like, she felt attacked. How did you feel attacked? Like, you talk, unless production cut out some scenes and we missed some stuff, then I don't really think you were attacked, right? And then she felt a way about the fact that Kiowa came over. Well, that's her son that you were discussing. Like, how do you feel attacked, but you're the one that mentioned a minor and him in a bathroom vaping? How are you? Tiffany has now flipped it and made herself the victim. I'm like, oh, you're the victim now. Got it. How are you the victim? You're the one that started this, right? And she was like, the same way that Maurice said to me, about mentioning that situation, wrong place, wrong time. I felt like him talking to me was a wrong place, wrong time. As soon as we walk in, he's like, we have to talk. Okay. He pulled and he did the right thing. He saw you. He was like, oh, hi, you're Tiffany. Oh, you know what? You and we need to just have a little bit of a conversation. And Maurice did the right thing. He didn't address that in front of the group. Maurice was man enough to pull you and your husband to the side and have said conversation. Maurice didn't raise his voice. Maurice didn't call you out your name. So I don't know how Miss Tiffany has now flipped it and she's become the victim. I'm thoroughly confused as how Tiffany has become the victim. And now her husband is co-signing this shit. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? You're co-signing this shit. It was mind blowing to me. Like, I'm like, co-signing her. Like she was wrong in what she said and what she did, but we're co-signing it. Okay, I guess they both can go for me, right? Because they're both just delusional as fuck. And then she's talking about the fact that Maurice was aggressive. Now, again, like I said, unless they cut some stuff out and we didn't see it, I didn't really see anything too aggressive from Maurice. I just saw Maurice telling you, like, hey, you mentioned my son. That wasn't cool. That was, and then they want to sit here and they want to flip it, right? They want to say the thing that everybody's been saying about Kimmy and Maurice, right? That there's a lack of communication when it comes to Kimmy and Maurice, which we all know that there's a lack of communication. But that didn't have nothing to do with what you did. That had nothing to do with what you did. You did that with ill intent. Like, I can see it if, let's just say, hypothetically, right? But this still wouldn't have been your place to say something, right? This still wouldn't have been your place. Let's just say that your son and Maurice Jr. were vaping together. Then that would be a situation like, my husband and I, we've had a conversation with our son about, the vaping situation. Have you guys talked to little Maurice about it, right? But even still, you don't do that in that setting with the group of women. It's all about timing. Although she wants to talk about his timing was bad, at least he pulled you to the side. That's the one thing I can say. He pulled you to the side and had the conversation with you. You didn't give that same courtesy. But let's move on. Alright, guys, next up, let's talk about Martell. Martell is a petty little bitch. Martell is a petty little bitch. And if you guys hear my windshield wipers, I'm turning them on because I guess it's foggy this morning. I don't see any fog right now, but my front windshield, it just keeps fogging up and I can't see out of it. Actually, my side, this one is foggy, that one's foggy. The back ones are not that foggy. It's just these front ones that are super duper foggy this morning. So Martell, so we see him and he's meeting with his business partner. Forgot what his name was. Robert. It was something like that. I don't forget what the man's name was. Robert. I think his name was Robert. If it wasn't, we gonna call him Robert. But he's meeting up with his business partner, right, at this house that he's building. So Martell is talking to him about, getting his home builder's license, right? Because remember, Martell doesn't have his home builder's license. It was Mel, and that was why Chris went to Mel about building on the 47 acres, right? So, his business partner, Robert, I think that's his name, I don't know. He asked him, so why didn't you ever get it? He says, well, I took the test once, failed it. Mel took it, she passed it. So since Mel had it, and she and I were husband and wife, and I thought we were going to be together forever, he didn't feel the need to go back and get it. Which, I get it, right? You're a husband and wife. You're both owners in the company. So what's yours is mine, and what's mine is yours, right? So we utilize each other's talents. So I got that. So he says at the end of the month he's gonna go take his home builder's license, right? So then Martell starts talking about the 47 acres, and you guys remember, like I just said a few minutes ago, that Chris went to Mel about building on the 47 acres because, again, what happened? Mel has her home builder's license. Martell doesn't. So Martell says that he went to the developers to make a deal with them. So what Martell did with this deal was, basically with this deal with the developers, he is basically, so I guess Chris is a realtor. So he's cutting Chris out and he's cutting Mel. And I'm like, that is so fucking petty, right? That's petty. That's petty. That's petty. That's petty. Because my thing is, you don't have the license currently. What happens if you go take this test for your license, right? What happens if you don't pass it this time? What happens if you don't pass it? Then they'll be like, oh crap, Martell doesn't have his home builder's license, so we got to go elsewhere. What happens if that happens? And then they go somewhere else that's not Chris or your ex-wife. And what's happening at that point? You're taking money out of your kid. You're taking food out of your kid's mouth, right? What's good for Mel is ultimately good for your kids. But the thing is, Martell, I don't think he can. His ego can handle the fact that, with his actions, he's having to rebuild. With Mel, she's thriving. His ego can't take that. That's really truly what it is. That man's big ass ego cannot take that. Ultimately, that's what it is. You are a petty little bitch. Putting it out there. But let's move on and wrap up the episode. Alright, you guys, let's talk about Wanda and her curls. So Wanda and her curls, she goes over to Tisha's crib, right? And she's telling Tisha what happened at Black. Mind you, she's omitting a lot of shit that happened at Black. So she did say that she's trying to get Mel and Martell back together. And Tisha's like, why are you trying to get Melody and Martell back together? That ain't your place. Like, mind your business. She's like, that girl want that man. Okay, she's already had him. Why are you trying to do that? Like, well, first of all, what they got to do with you? Like, I'm still confused as to what that got to do with you. If Melody and Martell find their way back to each other, that's going to be on them. If they don't, that's on them as well. But they don't need no middleman, no matchmaker like the likes of Wanda and her curls. So she then tells her that, her friends got into it with her, right? Kimmy and Destiny. And Tisha's like, well, Destiny, she's real cool, so don't do that, mama. But, and she was in her interview, she's like, I actually agree with Mel and Destiny, right? Because she told her about them coming at her about liking Aryan's pics. And she's like, but you know what, Mom, that is very disrespectful. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like that woman's pictures. Which, exactly. Like, let's just, like my best friend and, her husband, if he cheated on her and got another woman pregnant, I'm not going to go on this woman's page and be like, oh my God, you're very beautiful. That's disrespectful to my best friend. That's disrespect. Even if she was hypothetically a beautiful woman, I'm not gonna do that shit. That's disrespectful. Like, wait a minute, you gonna cheat on my bestie and you got a baby with this woman? Nah, I don't see it. I don't see it for her. I don't like her. I don't see it for her. She may be a beautiful woman, but I don't like you. I don't see it for you. That's how it should be. But we all know what Wanda's there for. Wanda's there to kick up the mess, right? So then she talks about the argument she had with Kimmy. And she's telling Tisha that Kimmy says, shut up, slamming on the table. She said that to you? Well, if I was there, it would have went differently. Girl, no, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. You would have made a big hissy fit, walked out, and cried. Like, let's be real, Tisha. You would have cried. So then, Marceau comes out, right? So Wanda is talking about the situation with the wine, right? About him meeting up with Mel and giving her the bottle of wine to be the ambassador for Black. Chocolate in a bottle. I mean, the more you say that shit, it just sounds nastier and nastier. It's champagne, but it's chocolate in a bottle. Just nasty. But, hey, maybe somebody like it. I wouldn't like it. Where we at? What we talking about? Oh, Wanda and her curls. So then Wanda and her curls say, what else did she say? Well, Marceau. So Tisha's like, well, did you take her? I knew about him wanting Mel to be an ambassador, but I thought he gave Mel the bottle of wine at my birthday dinner. Wait one motherfucking minute. When did they film this? Because that's the question that I got. When did they film this? Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Marceau go and take her that bottle in season 2? In the second half of season 2? And we in season 3? They should have saw that. because he pulled up to Holden Hold. He pulled up at Holden Hold, if I'm not mistaken. They should have saw that. Whatever, don't really give a shit, right? So Tisha's like, I'm not an insecure woman, and I don't think that Marceau wants, to be with Mel. But did you do it? He's like, that's a dumbass question. I was like, well, damn. He just called you a dumbass. I told you that man looks at her like she's a dumbass. Because that's not really a dumbass question, right? It's an honest. She's like, I'm asking you a direct question, so I expect a direct response. You're right, Tisha. You're right. I'm on your side. I'm on your side for once. For once. Because it's a simple yes or no answer, right? And what it boils down to is it's not a problem with you, giving Mel the bottle of wine, right? Or champagne, whatever the fuck it is. It's not an issue with you giving it to her. The issue comes in with the fact that you may have potentially lied to me about it, right? That's where the issue comes in. Like, you told me that you gave it to her at my birthday dinner, but then come to find out you actually gave it to her, you hand delivered it. Which, if you want somebody to be an ambassador, you give them whatever you want them to, be a spokesperson for. So it's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just the fact that he lied to her. Now, Wanda, how disrespectful are you to your own daughter, asking Marceau, does he have a side baby? I'm like, girl, that is the most disrespectful shit that you can do in front of your daughter. Like, you gonna ask him that? I ain't got nothing for. I know Carlos loves Wanda, but damn, at some point you gotta kill some of the mess, right? Some of the mess. It's good to be messy, but not that damn messy and in front of your child. But that's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified of when I drop anything else. Share the video and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, you guys, and I'll catch you guys later on for Power Book 3. Oh my God, you guys, we have one more week and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is back. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.